Today on the LA Food Podcast, entertainment zones are coming to Santa Monica, specifically the 3rd Street Promenade plans to let people consume alcoholic beverages freely out in the open, not unlike a young Luca making his way through a USC football tailgate. Will this move help revitalize what's been a notoriously cursed area for restaurants to thrive? Could it be a blueprint for other parts of LA looking to drive much-needed business to our struggling eateries and bars? SFGate LA food editor Karen Palmer is with us to discuss all of that and more. Karen has spoken with a bunch of people who have firsthand insight on the subject matter, including in California cities where entertainment zones have been in operation for the better part of a year. Is this a silver bullet, a big fat nothing burger, or something in between? Listen to find out. In part 2, we're joined by Scott Linder and Ryan Gianola of Matu and Matu Kai. I met up with them at their brand new Brentwood steak restaurant to learn why they decided to open a second location, what's new about Matu Kai versus the Beverly Hills original, and how the first couple of months have gone acclimating to a new neighborhood. We've also got a lightning round of Chef's Kiss Big Miss for you, featuring Bay City's vermin problem, some epic New York Times shade directed at one of the world's most famous pizzerias, and Yelp's quote-unquote definitive ranking of the best fast food burgers in America. Couple quick plugs. The LA Food Podcast is powered by Acquired Taste Media. Be sure to check out our other offerings at acquiredtastemedia.com, including our podcast, Taqueando with Bill Esparza. I actually joined Bill this week to learn about the ins and outs of fish tacos. There's a lot of Luca roasting on the pod, so you're probably not going to want to miss it. Secondly, the LA Chef Conference is coming back to downtown LA this October 6th at Redbird and Vibiana. It's going to be a star-studded event featuring the likes of Jordan Kahn, Evan Funke, Alice Waters, and many more all-star names. Yours truly might even be moderating a panel, who knows? Lots more to come on that, but be sure to add it to your calendar and check the link in the show notes. As always, please consider leaving us a rating or review wherever you listen to podcasts. I'm your host, Lucas Servodio, and without further ado, let's chow down. The LA Food Podcast is presented by The Lonely Oyster. Unwind at The Lonely Oyster's Echo Park Night Watch. Did you know that every night is industry night at The Lonely Oyster, dear listener? Stroll in after 10 p.m. nightly for a one-of-a-kind experience designed for the night owls and hospitality pros. Indulge in $12 handshake cocktails, expertly crafted liquid chef concoctions, delicious late-night hot bites, and chef's choice dozen oysters. More than just a place to unwind, the Lonely Oyster warmly welcomes industry professionals, providing a space where like-minded individuals can connect, relax, and enjoy the camaraderie that comes with the late-night scene. Whether you're looking to kick back after a long shift or simply enjoy the vibrant atmosphere, late night at the Lonely Oyster is the perfect rendezvous for those who appreciate good company and great food and drinks. Don't miss this nightly affair and let the good times roll at the Lonely Oyster. Okay, welcoming back to the LA Food Podcast. It's not Father Saul, but someone who I'm told time and time again should have his job. It's Karen Palmer. Karen, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me back. It's so much fun.
Oh my God, you're always our favorite guest to have. And everybody says whenever you're on, like, that Saul guy, he's no good. You really should give Karen the job. And I'm like, it's hers if she wants it, but she's a little busy.
I mean, I appreciate that, but I'm not trying to take anybody's job right now.
Good. Well, hey, one of the advantages of having you on is I can ask you questions like the one I'm about to ask you. Have you been keeping up with this season of The Valley?
A little bit. I have. I'm like an episode or two behind, but I did see Jesse and, oh my God, Jason at Chateau Marmont.
No way.
A month or two ago.
Oh my God. You saw them in the flesh?
In the flesh. And of course, you're not allowed to take pictures there. They're very not that I would have necessarily taken a picture, but I was very excited. My dining companion had like no idea who they were, but I was like, oh my God, they're on the show that I watch on Bravo. So it was super exciting for me, not for her necessarily.
Let me ask you this. Did Jason have his wedding ring on? That's a big theme of this season.
I didn't look because this is before the new season had started airing. They seem, well, I don't want to say anything out of pocket. They seem like they were having a good time. They were having a good time. It was a Sunday afternoon. I don't know,
How could you not at the Chateau Sunday afternoon,
Yeah, Sunday afternoon at the Chateau. It's just, that's what it's there for.
Yeah. God bless. God bless. Well, one thing that they're doing a lot of this season is they're showcasing a lot of Valley restaurants. Vanderpump always did that too, right? But the funny thing is, by and large, I do not recognize any of these restaurants. They all sound like AI generated restaurants.
Oh, really? I mean, yeah, that might kind of be what you're getting up there,
Yeah.
Not to shit on Valley restaurants. We love the Valley.
No, because actually last episode, there was a restaurant I recognized, which was Heavy Handed. They shot it Heavy Handed in the Valley.
Nice.
I know you're a fan of that burger.
Yeah, I do like that burger a lot. I love Danny and Max, they're great guys. And it's exciting to see how they've grown the business too.
Well, speaking of growing from a career perspective, I wanted to say congratulations on your recent promotion to LA food editor of SFGate.
Thank you.
So well deserved.
Thank you. It's very exciting.
What does this mean? Not to make this sound like an interview, which I'm sure you've had before, but what does this mean for the coverage and what we can expect?
Sure. When I was the contributing LA food editor, I was doing a very similar thing, just part-time basically. So what you can expect is more of the same coverage that I've been doing, but one of the exciting things about the new role is I'll be doing some more California statewide features, whether it's dining trends or looking at something like entertainment zones that I wrote about last week. But that'll be really fun to kind of look at the state as a whole and see what's going on. I have some pieces in the works, one about what's next for California barbecue. Obviously, I'm looking to do a pizza feature. So, just keeping it real.
I was going to say, they knew what they were getting into when they hired you. So
Exactly. They're it's going to be at least one pizza story a month. But yeah.
One a month. I thought you were going to say one a year. I was up that by a large margin.
Exactly.
Does that mean a lot more California travel for you as well?
It could. I have really enjoyed some of the pieces I've done on smaller cities or towns like Carlsbad and kind of what's going on, especially if it's a smaller city where the dining scene is really exploding.
Yeah.
So
awesome. Is there not a hidden gem, but an undercover gem perhaps that you're excited to go out there and visit from a food perspective?
We were talking about, there's this area outside of San Francisco in the Bay Area called the Delta. That's where a lot of people go boating and wakeboarding and that kind of stuff. So doing something on the food scene out there, which is a lot of waterside bars and restaurants, I think would be really fun. So that's one of the things we've tossed around, but it's not on my immediate editorial calendar at the moment.
Dark question, but is that the lake of Scott Peterson fame?
Oh gosh. Oh, I don't know. You know what? I would have to look that up. I mean,
yeah.
It might be. I mean,
geographically speaking, it would make sense.
I know they've found her body in the Bay, in the San Francisco Bay.
Right.
So, but that might be, where he went. I don't know.
Yeah.
I need to look into that further, Luke.
Yeah. Let's put a pin in that one.
I'll put a pin in that. Yeah.
My wife is a true crime fanatic, so now I have all these murders in my brain as well. So
totally,
that's how I do geography.
Did you watch the Netflix series or documentary about it?
No, because she watches that 90% of them without me.
Okay.
But occasionally I catch the end of one.
Got it.
Well, speaking of things that moved us to tears, have you had any great meals recently?
I have. I have been going to my friend Jeremy Adler's new restaurant, Beethoven Market in Mar Vista, quite a bit. I can actually walk there, which, in LA is kind of, is very unique. And I feel like he's just kind of opened the perfect neighborhood restaurant. It's got pizza, it's got house-made pastas, the vibe is great. So I've been going over there quite a bit. I might even go there tonight. We'll see. And honestly, I was thinking about this. The meals that I had in Carlsbad were really impressive. I really, really dug the restaurant group that has Wildland and Juné Jolie and Campfire and their new place Lilo. I just think they're doing such an impressive job. And even though all the restaurants are pretty much like on the same block, like they each have a very different feel and different design and different food. Like I don't know. I went down there without thinking that I was going to write anything. And I went to a couple of the places and I was like, I need to write about this. So if that's any indication of how good it was,
I've seen a lot of people posting about those spots now. Like, is one of those like, I have no idea what the food is, but I just remember seeing some like beautiful design. It almost looked like a, modern Scandinavian meets like Japanese sushi restaurant.
Yeah, that's probably their new tasting menu restaurant, Lilo, which like just opened. So actually, when I was down there, they were doing like friends and family. So I wasn't able to eat there, but I did get to see it. And yeah, it's really, really beautiful. It's like very small, very intimate, and using a lot of like coastal ingredients, which is, the chef, Eric Bost, had Auburn in Hollywood before moving down to Carlsbad to kind of join this restaurant group. So he's just really impressive and really accomplished.
That was wasn't that Michelin recognized? Yeah,
it was. And he had to close it like pretty early on in the pandemic.
Yeah. So, wow, cool. Wow. So, Carlsbad got a big fish.
Yeah, exactly. You need to take a road trip.
Well, it's funny you say that. We're going to San Diego in a couple weeks, and we're going to be doing a whole podcast episode about it.
Nice.
This is the first teaser we're doing, but maybe we'll need to stop in Carlsbad as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I would say like stopping at Wildland for lunch or something.
Yeah, love it.
It's really cool.
Well, hey, you mentioned earlier one of your stories that you'd been working on recently, and it's one that really caught my eye. And since I've got, usually it's just Saul and I shooting the shit about stories that we read, right. But I happen to have the actual reporter on the line today. So
here I am.
I wanted to, take this opportunity to ask you about it. And it's a story about entertainment zones. I believe you covered it from sort of a California-wide perspective, but the hook of the story appeared to be the move that Santa Monica is making to make the 3rd Street Promenade an entertainment zone.
Correct.
Let me start here. What sparked this piece?
We had been hearing that the 3rd Street Promenade might be turned into an entertainment zone. So it kind of just sparked the question of like, okay, what are these? Have they been successful in other cities that have already done them? And, I think since I live on the Westside and I'm occasionally on the 3rd Street Promenade, there have been a lot of retail and restaurant closures. So it's like, just wanted to take a look at it and talk to some of the other cities who have done them. So it was it's interesting. So basically what an entertainment zone is, because of a bill that went into effect in January, California cities can designate a certain neighborhood or a certain street or area as an entertainment zone. It's usually during special events or like certain nights of the week. Like most of them aren't doing it, like every single night or anything, but it allows for public consumption of alcohol. So it was interesting to talk to the director of nightlife for San Francisco. They were the first to really roll this out. They were actually able to start last year. So since then, they've had more than 20 different entertainment zones that have either been, in effect or in some level of the process for planning. And yeah, he said they've been really successful. The business owners have been thrilled that it brings more people to the area. And then I spoke to a couple people here in LA, like Eddie Navarrete from the Independent Hospitality Coalition and restaurateur Dustin Lancaster. And both of them were very positive about it. I mean, Dustin especially, he's like, look, like anything we can do to generate more revenue.
Right.
Restaurants have been hurting so much the past few years. So basically everybody that I spoke with was very pro this entertainment zone idea. There's been some pushback from groups that are, anti-alcohol and saying that this could lead to underage drinking or, just people having more access to alcohol or noise or, those kinds of concerns. But one of the things that the people I spoke with really stressed is that these are like heavily regulated and, you have to have a wristband, there are security measures in place and all that stuff. So yeah, it's like,
oh wow,
it's not just like a free for all out on the streets. You have to show that you're 21 and, they try to control it. One of the people I spoke with was from Sacramento and she was like, we're not trying to be New Orleans. Like we just want to do this for some like special events, and keep things under control.
Right. I was going to say, yeah, 3rd Street is not becoming Bourbon Street is what you're saying?
No, I don't think so. And like I said, having been over there quite a bit in the last even just several months. My hope for the Third Street Promenade is that it does bring some people over there because it's obviously been hurting for a while.
Yeah. I haven't been to the Third Street Promenade in years. I don't think I've been like since before the pandemic, honestly.
Yeah.
I've been to Santa Monica. I've been in and around the promenade.
Right.
But I haven't, I don't think I've actually strolled down the promenade. What's the vibe there right now?
I mean, it's just kind of quiet. You know, there are a lot of like just empty retail spaces. There are a handful of restaurants that seem to be like you know, there's like a Barney's Beanery.
Oh, that's still thriving?
That's still there. But you know, I think it's always had a reputation as being more of a tourist area, so it's not necessarily where locals might seek out. But I think, you know, I don't want to speak for the city of Santa Monica, but I would think that they're hoping that this would drive both tourists and locals, especially, you know, during the summer when you're right by the beach and you can pop over and like have a glass of wine or something outside.
When I first heard Entertainment Zone, I was under the impression that you could just basically just like drink adult beverages, as they're called in the piece officially, whenever you want. But you're saying it's basically just going to be like certain nights of the week or certain.
Yeah, exactly. I believe, and I would have to double check this, that the promenade will be like, you know, Friday and Saturday nights. Again, like a lot of the ones in San Francisco are just around special events. So it's like, you know, there's one in the Castro that corresponds with what's called like the Castro Night Market, which is monthly. So, you know, it's just like they're more contained and like a shorter period than you might think. Like it's not just like all day drinking outside and getting crazy.
I mean, the latter sounds better to me, honestly. But yeah, I know I know what you mean. So in terms of the people that you spoke with, especially from the cities where it's already been rolled out, what are the benefits they've seen? Like, are there tangible like business improvements that they've seen?
The city of San Francisco, in a recent statement about rolling out, they just named, I think, 5 new ones within the last week or two. The mayor, Daniel Lurie, just named a handful of new ones, and they issued a statement that these areas have generated up to 1,500% of a revenue increase for some of the businesses, but I feel like that's
so much.
Sounds like a lot.
That sounds like a lot.
You know, it's like, it must be like, it's probably like the one business that like really, you know, saw a huge effect from this. But yeah, I mean, and again, like just from the industry people that I spoke with, they were just excited about like the opportunity to bring more business and more revenue, especially for restaurants. It's like, you know, alcohol sales are where they make the most money anyway. Yeah, because my mind, you know, initially when I read this, I was like, super exciting. Then you like dig into the details a little bit and you're like, okay, to use Dustin Lancaster's point, like, it seems like we're in a place where anything will help, right? Totally, yeah.
But like, it also feels to me like, okay, how much will this actually help? It kind of feels like you're just bringing like a First Friday, right, to like Venice used to do with the food trucks.
Yeah.
But like now you can drink on the street.
Right.
I mean, not saying that's nothing, but it doesn't seem like a silver bullet necessarily, even if it were to be rolled out across the city.
No, I agree. It's not going to like turn around a business that's on its last legs or anything like that. You know what I mean? But like, yeah, I think the idea is just like any way we can get customers and bring in revenue is a good idea.
Yeah. And speaking of Eddie, you know, I feel like this does, however, seem to be a bit of a trend in terms of like cities and states trying to do things to allow restaurants to sell more. Like, for example, I think you mentioned this even in your piece, but the push to extend business hours to 4 a.m. or bar hours at least.
Right.
If a restaurant or a bar wants to do that. So, I mean, is that fair to say that there seems to be a bit of a trend towards really throwing things at the wall to see what sticks in terms of helping businesses?
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, a lot of the work that Eddie and the Independent Hospitality Coalition does is like they're advocating for, you know, these independent business owners here in LA. Yeah, I think the push to stay open till 4 a.m. is also, it's a very similar vein. Like, let's try to reinvigorate some of the, like, you know, downtown LA used to have a much more thriving nightlife scene. Like, maybe this will help to reinvigorate that in some way. And, you know, maybe bring in some tourists or whatever. So, it's just allowing them to stay open longer and basically sell more. alcohol.
Again, I think sounds great on paper,
Right.
but if you live in LA, I mean, who stays out till 4 a.m.?
I had this conversation with somebody when I was reporting the article. I was like, LA's such an early town. I mean, like,
Right.
if I have a dinner after 7 p.m., I'm like mad about it.
Crazy.
So,
Yeah, it's insane.
I'm not 22 anymore. I agree that it might be better on paper than it is in actually like producing tangible results. But, it does, I think for the business owners, it also just feels good to have people like advocating for them and fighting for them to succeed. So,
I mean, I just don't know how I'm going to make my 6 a.m. yoga class. I'm out till 4 a.m. the night before, Yeah.
I know. Same.
LA
Although
problems.
for me, it's Pilates, but whatever. No, I'm kidding.
Oh yeah. With the reformers, like I hear those are really hot right now.
I mean, sometimes, but those are really difficult.
Yeah, they look tough. They don't look like a picnic at all.
Terrible. No.
I think overall it's good news, right? It's cool to see the city doing something, like and government in general doing something. Obviously, like I remain skeptical, but then hey,
Right.
these are small margin businesses, so maybe any little help really does help.
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, it's partially just the enthusiasm and sort of feeling the support than anything else. So.
And I believe your article said June is when Santa Monica plans on rolling this out.
That is what they're saying. It's going to be like a kind of like a soft rollout. They haven't I don't think they've formally announced like exactly what the hours are going to be, but that was the plan the last time I looked.
Awesome. Well, hey, we'll put the link in the show notes. Thank you for doing the good work of reporting on this.
Yes, thank you.
And we've got an interview coming up today with Ryan and Scott of Matu Kai in Brentwood. But before we go to that,
nice.
Would you be down for a quick round of Chef's Kiss Big Miss?
Absolutely. Why do you think I came today?
Hell yeah. Everybody just comes for the games. Yeah,
exactly.
All right, Chef's Kiss Big Miss. Here we go.
Let's do it.
This week, reports have been swirling of legendary Santa Monica Deli, Bay City's shutting down temporarily due to a vermin infestation. In response to media inquiries, Bay City said, "We take full responsibility and recognize the seriousness of this matter. The situation does not reflect the standards we uphold at Bay Cities. We are actively working with the health department and third-party professionals to address all concerns and improve our store as a whole." Karen, is the vermin's audacity to rob LA of one of its favorite Italian sandwiches a chef's kiss or a big miss?
What a big miss. The fact that I can't go get a godmother right now is just unacceptable. But I do appreciate that, Bay Cities is taking responsibility and hopefully in addressing the problem and, making it better.
I'm not going to lie. When I wrote down this chef's kiss big miss question, I was kind of expecting you to zag.
Oh.
In classic Karen fashion, being like, you know what? Fuck the godmother. I've never liked that sandwich.
I do like the godmother. I wouldn't necessarily say it's my favorite sandwich in LA, but it's a delicious sandwich.
What's your favorite sandwich in LA?
I don't know. I knew you were going to ask.
You walked into that one.
I'm a big fan. I like what they're doing over at Giada. I always feel like I'm saying it wrong. Giada.
Yeah. Giada.
And I love the sandwiches at Monroe Place in Culver City. They're delicious.
Yeah.
So
that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. The Serenity Now is the one that I think
it's
I
so
reviewed
good
for my sandwich crawl.
So good.
Yeah. Great sandwich. Okay. We'll allow those answers.
Thank you.
And by the way, think you got to the right answer on that one too. Okay. Next one. The New York Times published their updated list of the best pizzas in New York, but they also published a companion piece explaining why Lucali isn't on the list. According to reporter Nikita Richardson, it comes down to a lack of consistency and the fact that the hassle is apparently not worth the food compared with the abundance of other options nearby. Karen, is the Times going above and beyond to single out how and why Lucali wasn't included on its list? A chef's kiss or a big miss?
So I kind of went back and forth on this one a little bit because the explanation does feel a little like navel gazy in a way. But then I was thinking about, I've been writing about food for a long time. Anytime I do a list, there's always somebody that's like, oh, you forgot this place. Why isn't this place on it? Oh my God.
Right.
And these things are all subjective. So it's like, you're never going to have the perfect list for every single person, right? So I'm going to give it a chef's kiss just in the sense that it is for a lot of readers, a big omission not to have them on the list.
Yeah.
So explaining like, here's what happened, here's why we didn't put them on the list. Also, like, I'm sorry, I'm rambling a little bit, but I was thinking about this a lot today.
This is your topic in more ways than one.
There's a bagel place, a very trendy bagel place that's not too far from me, that always has a huge line.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, there's a better bagel that is literally like 3 doors down.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
On the same block. And I'm just like, why? I was like, why would I stand in line for what I think is an inferior bagel versus just, waiting 5 minutes for the one that I think is better quality? So I think, I think their points are valid too. Like, if there's plenty of good pizza and if the juice isn't worth the squeeze, why put them on the list?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough. Have you been to Lucali?
I've actually never been.
Ooh, okay.
I've had that. They did a pop-up out here a few, wow. I think this was like right before the pandemic, actually.
I think I remember this.
So I had it at the pop-up, but no, I've never been to Lucali.
Yeah, I've never been either, but they actually were at the Infatuation's Eads Con last year.
Sure.
And I did have their slice there, and I mean, I thought it was pretty damn good, but like,
yeah.
And that was like, the transplant, bring your product over to Los Angeles version. So yeah, I was surprised to see this. I was interested to hear what you have to say, because like, yeah, it did feel a little self-important to me that they were like,
yeah,
hey, yeah, Lucali isn't on it, and here's why. I actually felt like, when you're weighing whether to do that or not, yes, there's the CYA element to your point, right? Like, everybody's going to be like on your ass if you leave out one of the major places. That happens to me all the time when I make my stupid little lists.
Totally.
Like, I can't imagine what it's like for the New York Times or you as a real reporter. But like it also felt like, to me, like a little bit of an extra additional stab / shade at Lucali that felt a little gratuitous.
No, 100%. And I think it's also like, it might have also been a grab for clicks too. You know what I mean? Like, It's kind of like, people are going to be talking about why Lucali isn't on the list. Let's like give them what they want, and it'll probably perform very well.
Yeah.
So
no, that's definitely, you're giving us an insight into how the sausage is made, for sure.
Exactly. How the media sausage is made.
Yeah, the most delicious sausage, some might argue. Just kidding. Okay. Next one. Eater's Bettina McClintock reports on the growing trend of influencers selling food-centric trips to their followers. The trips listed in the article range from $2,500 to $6,000, not including flights. The central question of this piece attempts to answer is, you might like a creator enough to cook their recipes, visit their favorite restaurants, or buy their cookbook, but do you like a creator enough to follow them to another country? Karen, are influencer-led voyages at great expense to another country something that sounds to you like a chef's kiss or a big miss?
I mean, I don't give a shit about influencers, so for me it's a big miss. But, I do think I think there are also different levels of influencers and people who genuinely, no food, no travel. So hey, if you... would I go on a trip that Stanley Tucci led? Sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's I guess it's if that's if this influencer is one of your guiding lights to your lifestyle, then it's your money. Do whatever you want. But I'm not into it personally.
Yeah, me either. I don't want to yuck anybody's yum, but there's just something so sad about it. How influencers and podcasts too, frankly, I mean, they kind of inspire these parasocial relationships. And I've definitely experienced it. I feel some podcasters out there are my best friends, and they're not, right? And anytime you try to interact with them, whether it's a DM or something, it is one of the most embarrassing experiences ever.
Right.
Because if it goes well, they'll give you a like on whatever you send, on whatever heartfelt message you send them. But more often than not, it's just ignored. This feels like people paying in order to break that parasocial barrier.
Right.
And I just feel like it's so, I'm cringing for them, just because I feel like when they get there, they're going to have spent so much money, and that person is still not your friend.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, and one of the women in the article actually said that because, or I believe it was a woman, I can't remember, but because this person shares so much about their personal life on their Instagram or their social media, like they've had people ask questions that they felt like were a little out of line, but then it's also like, but you're sharing it to like publicly. I don't know. It's such a weird line.
Yeah.
So
it's a weird line.
And then also it's kind of sad that like, it speaks to like the breakdown of society because of social media.
Yeah.
So,
Guilty as charged, you know?
Yeah.
So it sounds like a little bit of a big miss then. Okay, for both of us.
Yeah, for me personally,
all right,
big miss.
Fair enough. Last one. You're doing great, by the way. You might just win this game.
Thank you.
Food Beast.
Love it.
Yeah, you're welcome. Food Beast reports that in honor of National Burger Day, which is actually today, the day that we're recording, Yelp has ranked In-N-Out as the best burger chain in the country. The ranking includes chains that have over 100 locations in multiple states and are primarily listed under the category of burger. In-N-Out Burger landed in the top spot with more than 119,000 Yelp reviews across more than 400 locations. The Habit Burger came second and Shake Shack came in third. Karen, do you agree with this ranking? Is it a chef's kiss or a big miss?
Well, I want to preface this by saying I've actually never had a Habit Burger.
I thought you were going to say In-N-Out, and I was about to shut the computer, honestly.
You slammed.
I was like, done, episode's canceled. Saul, get back here.
No, for me, I'm going to say it's a chef's kiss. I love In-N-Out. I love that they're an LA-based company. You know, it's so California, and like the secret menu, like it's kind of like a cult favorite, you know. Well, a very popular cult favorite, but you know, it's just like I feel like it has so much more personality than a lot of other burger brands. So I'm gonna call it a chef's kiss.
Yeah, no, I
take that, Habit, even though I've never tried your burger.
Take that, Habit. Yeah, watch the PR emails from the Habit are going to be insane right now. Hey, Karen, we'd like to offer you a free burger if you ever want to make it.
Yeah, exactly. Please come in and try a burger.
Yeah, on the house. Yeah, it's interesting because you say it has more personality, but in some ways it has way less personality because like they don't advertise at all. Like I feel like if I think personality, you got like the King guy for Burger King, you got like the Jack in the Box guy, right?
Sure. Yeah.
I feel like In-N-Out is so under the radar.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess I was thinking about it more in terms of like the branding and just the like, you know, like the uniforms and the way that they like cut the potatoes fresh every day. I don't know. It's just like, it just feels like such a California experience to me. So I'm pro In-N-Out.
Yeah, undeniable. I mean, I'm pro In. Let me be clear. I'm pro In-N-Out too. Don't cancel me, anybody listening to this podcast. But no, I mean, you know, I think it's interesting. I mean, In-N-Out, I'm eating a lot of burgers this year, and In-N-Out is still one of the best ones I've had.
Right.
Like pound for pound, like for price, for quality, and just for like flavor, it's a delicious. It's really burger. Hard to beat.
Yeah.
Yeah. What they do is like just really you gotta applaud it. But as far as like chain burgers go, what's your favorite in the city?
Oof. Oh man, that's such a hard question. I mean, Heavy Handed is up there for me.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of like a more of a sit down like restaurant burger, I really love the burger at Dunsmore.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with those two as my favorites, just because I could think about like there's so many.
Dunsmore I had last week, and I didn't love it.
Oh really? Okay.
I just thought it was it's weird. As I was sitting there and having the burger, I was like, I can see the appeal and why like people love it. But I think just personal taste, I was just like, it was too rich for me. Like I was just like,
yeah, it's a hefty burger.
Yeah.
It's a hefty burger. I'm not the biggest like smash burger person. Like when it's all just like texture and you don't really even taste the meat. So like, I think I gravitate towards a slightly beefier burger. I'm like, the Dunsmore burger is not one I'm going to eat like once a week. It's like a special treat kind of thing.
You die if you do that.
Yeah, but yeah, and I think just in terms of like, I really like the heavy-handed burger because I love the sauce. I like the pickles. Their soft serve is delicious, which has nothing to do with the burger, but you know, just a fun time.
Honor Bar doesn't make the cut.
I mean, I was trying to go with like LA specific places.
Right.
Honor Bar, you know, you'll see.
I will. I'm excited. Karen's going to be my honor bar Sherpa, since she's like the LA expert on all things Hillstone restaurants. So it's only fair.
I love it. Yes.
Yeah.
I can't wait. It's going to be great.
Well, Karen, great job. You won the game. Surprise.
Thank you.
Just wanted to say thank you for joining us. But before I let you go, we do something on the podcast called Shitty Yelp Review of the Week. And usually it's us saying what we did that was bad this week. But I'm not going to make you do that. I'm just going to give a Shitty Yelp Review of the day for a piece of news that I saw.
Love it.
But the Republican-led House narrowly passed the big, beautiful bill championed by Donald Trump, which brings hundreds of billions of dollars in funding cuts to essential programs like Medicaid, and on a food-related note, to the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP, better known as food stamps. These $300 billion in proposed cuts will have devastating consequences for low-income Americans, many of whom are already struggling because of everything from rent to groceries getting exponentially more expensive. Currently, it's estimated that around 11 million people, including 4 million children, would lose access to SNAP benefits. So the Shitty Yelp Review of the day goes to the big, beautiful bill.
Yeah, I fully agree with everything you just said.
Yeah.
It's a disgusting, gross, orange bill.
Yeah.
That never should have happened.
Well said. Disgusting, gross, orange bill that should have never happened. Well, Karen, on that slight downer of a note, just wanted to say thank you for joining us. Anything you'd like to plug?
Thank you. No, I'd love for people to just check out my work at SFGate. If you want to follow along with my food adventures, I'm at Karen L. Palmer on Instagram. So I eat a lot of pizza.
Yep.
You'll see a lot of pizza photos. It's great. It's a good time.
Speaking of, I saw that lunch you guys had about the Truly Pizza one. That looked amazing. So jealous.
Oh my gosh. It was so good. Yes, shout out to Truly Pizza in Dana Point. Their pizza is so good. I don't know how they make the crust that they do, but it's delicious. And yes, they were doing a pop-up at the Hotel Del Mar over in Santa Monica. So a group of us, like LA pizza nerds, got together and had lunch, and it was fabulous.
Yeah.
Right by the beach. We had like a truffle and caviar pizza because there was also like some collaboration with the cheese store at Beverly Hills. So it was, it wasn't the worst Memorial Day lunch I've ever had.
Seriously, what is not to love about that? Okay, Truly Pizza, Dana Point, Carlsbad. You've basically just been like the California Tourism Board on this podcast.
Yeah, there you go.
So good job by you. They owe you money.
Thank you.
Karen, we're putting it all in the show notes, but thank you as always for joining us.
Loved it. Thank you so much. I had such a great time.
We'll be right back after the break. Dear listener, I made a deal with my wife. She let me start a food podcast and eat ungodly amounts of noodles, pizza, sandwiches, and more under two conditions. One is that I never utter her name. The other is that I find ways to be healthy outside of my work in food. Being the fantastic partner I am, I found a few ways to up my health game. I exercise almost every day, I try to sneak in salads for lunch whenever I can, and I only ever snack on healthy foods. The macadamia nut has become an essential part of my daily routine with the best omega-6 to 3 ratios in the nut game, 8 times better than pistachios and 20 times better than cashews. At houseofmacadamias.com, they've got a bunch of different macadamia products that you can enjoy, like savory and sweet snack packs and chocolate-covered snack bars. One of the problems with macadamias I've found is that they can be expensive, but I'm solving this for you, dear listener, because as of today, all you've got to do is head to houseofmacadamias.com and use code LAFOOD to get a 10% discount on a healthy snack that also happens to be delicious. So what are you waiting for? Head to www.houseofmacadamias.com/discount/LAFood and go nuts. I am stoked. I am at the brand new Matu Kai today in Brentwood with two of my favorite people. It's Ryan and Scott. Guys, how you doing today?
Doing great.
Doing great. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. Okay, I got an icebreaker question, which we ask all our guests. I don't remember if I did this to you last time, Scott, so I'm going to start with Ryan. Ryan, what'd you have for breakfast today?
Well, I had some coffee for breakfast today. It's the coffee of champions, or breakfast of champions, I guess. So nice coffee, but breakfast is all day long and until dinner.
Are you like an intermittent fasting kind of guy? Is that what I'm hearing?
I think when you wake up, there's a lot of things going on in your head, and one of those things is not eating. So I think other things go on, but I think for breakfast, I'm more of like a breakfast bar, something as you go.
Yeah.
And but I did have a banana on my desk this morning, but I did not eat it yet. Yeah.
Okay, so a little treat for later.
Yeah.
Scott, I'm not asking you the same thing. I got to keep you on your toes.
Oh my gosh.
What did you have for dinner last night?
Dinner for me.
It's hard to think about yesterday.
No, I don't even know what I had for breakfast. If you had asked me the question what I had for breakfast, I wouldn't be able to answer.
Yeah.
Really search back into the cavities of your memory. Last night, what happened?
Oh
It was a long time ago.
What I had last night, I usually just eat the taster. Like, so when we do our taste plate here every night, or if I'm either in Beverly Hills or Brentwood, we taste everything on the menu. So usually that's my dinner.
Yeah.
And some nights I come home and I munch on something late night, but I try to cut back on that because that's not great for me. So
Yeah.
last night it was pretty much one bite of everything on the menu at Matu Kai.
There's worse ways to live life, honestly.
Nobody has any sympathy for me, by the way.
No, nobody feels bad for you. Although I do feel like that thing you just mentioned of the late night, like, chef cooking at home, it's such a trope that you see in movies. Like
It's not like the movie Chef. I'm not
No.
making aglio e olio at home. You know, I'm like, okay, I have tuna from that maybe 5 days ago, maybe a week ago that I can eat and hopefully not get sick.
Yeah, check the expiration first.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on.
so you're playing expiration date roulette.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. For sure.
That's one of my favorite games.
It's expiration plus 2 or 3. That's
It's just a recommendation, it's just a suggestion.
exactly.
Yeah. Well, this is primarily an audio medium still. So would you, Ryan, can you tell the listeners where we're recording today?
Well, we are recording at Matu Kai, which is a new steak restaurant in Brentwood. And more specifically, we are recording in the private dining room, which has eluded people from this point so far forward. We haven't used it or utilized it yet, but it's now a recording studio for podcasts. So we are
Acoustics
here.
in here are
Yeah,
chef's
they
kiss.
work really, really well. So
Yeah.
We designed it specifically for
Yeah.
podcast recording.
For this podcast especially.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Of course, yeah, your favorite
And
podcast.
depending on when this airs, we may have private dining open, but right now we're just focused on really executing the dinner service. So we haven't opened just yet for private dining, but depending on when this airs, maybe
Yeah.
we'll be open.
Exciting things to come, it sounds like. Well, Scott, you've been on the podcast before, told us all about Matu. We've also had Jason, the founder of First Light Farms, on the podcast before. So we've really dipped both our feet, not just our toes, into the Matu universe. So, Matu Kai opens, and Father Saul and I came on one of the friends and family nights, and we talked about it on the podcast. Absolutely loved our experience. We tried to sum up what Matu Kai is, but we're not the insiders. So I'd love to hear, sort of from the horse's mouth, what the elevator pitch for Matu Kai is. Ryan, why don't you give it to us?
Well, the elevator pitch for Matu Kai, for someone who doesn't know Matu or has been to Matu, is really the same for Matu. And that is, these are steak restaurants that serve 100% grass-fed Wagyu beef from First Light Farms out of New Zealand. And we believe this is the best beef on earth in healthfulness, humane treatment, environmental reasons, and also taste. I mean, this tastes the best. Yeah, there's no better beef out there, and to have the best steak and have the best beef, you need to have the best quality beef. So if you're looking to experience a great restaurant and have a great dinner, I think Matu and Matu Kai are incredible, different versions of a steak restaurant. We don't refer to ourselves as steak houses. The way we cook our food, our beef, the way we serve our food is very different, warm, inviting, and welcoming, and would love people to come and enjoy. Now, for someone who has been to Matu, the elevator pitch will be, if you love Matu, you're going to love Matu Kai.
Yeah.
And a lot of the same things that we do at Matu, we do at Matu Kai, and the core of it is the beef that we serve and the steak that we serve is really the same at both restaurants, but the supporting actors are different, or some of the supporting actors are different. So we'll talk more about the menu items and what there is, but I think that there's a lot of different great preparations of items that are beef focused at both restaurants, and you get to experience the core of what Matu is, but also at Matu Kai, and it's our second venture in this journey. And we're really excited for people to have it, and it's been a great reception so far.
That's awesome. It's funny what you said there about it's the best tasting beef on the planet, but it's also got incredible nutritional value. It reminds me of a conversation. We just launched a second podcast with Bill Esparza called Takeando. And for his first episode, he interviewed Enrique Olvera. And Chef Enrique was talking about how, like, when you look at an amazing strawberry at the farmer's market or something, or an amazing tomato, like, it's not just that it tastes good and it tastes like a really good tomato, but also that taste is an indication that the nutrients in there are on point, that it's really doing like everything a tomato is supposed to do from a nutrient perspective. Is that the same idea behind First Life Farms and the beef?
Yeah, and I think it's a great question, because I say that whenever I do orientation with any new member of staff, we talk about the health benefits of First Life Farms and the way that we structure our preset menus, which is a focus on balance of not just the best tasting, most healthful beef on the planet, which is First Light, but also the vegetables and other ingredients that we use are wholesome and clean. But I have a phrase that I tell everybody is Mother Nature's smarter than us. So
Very true.
in the case of First Light, if you treat an animal the way it's supposed to be treated and you feed it what it's supposed to be fed, which is grass, and you get a piece of meat that tastes the best and leaves you feeling great.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably one of the things that we're most proud about, which is people are coming to Matu or Matu Kai and they're having a full steak dinner and they say, I feel great after leaving.
Yeah.
Which is not something that you can say
No.
after going to really any other steakhouse.
Or any other like taste, or a lot of other tasting menus too.
Right.
I feel like the tasting menu experience, a lot of the time, you kind of leave feeling like you have an extra like 40 pounds tied to your stomach in like
Exactly.
a dumbbell form or something, right?
Yeah.
Like
the food hangover.
The food hangover, but it's not even like the next day. It's like right after you leave,
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
It's like going to your car, you're like, can this thing actually drive me away? But at Matu and Matu Kai, from my experience, like the menus, the tasting menus are so perfectly coursed out where you leave satisfied, but you're not like gonna die basically. So Ryan, you mentioned some of the new menu offerings that are at Matu Kai that are not at Matu. We've talked ad nauseum about the tasting menu experience on this podcast. We absolutely love it. What are some of those new things on the menu here at Matu Kai? I'd like to hear maybe a couple from you, a couple from Scott.
All right. Well,
hit it with your favorites.
Yeah,
and then I'll go with mine.
All right. So we have an item that we have been working on, and I'll start by doing this. We have been testing in our test kitchen for years different ways of preparing this beef, whether it's steaks, whether it's different worldly techniques, and we have so many a realm of repertoire of different recipes that we would love to be able to serve. The thing is that if we add too much to one restaurant, it's going to take away from our execution.
Yeah.
It's going to take away from our focus. And so having this second location allows us to really be able to serve these items without taking away from the consistency in one location. It really allows both kitchens to really, really focus on execution. So some of the menu items that I genuinely love, and I love them all, but I'll leave some for Scott to say. The meatballs are fantastic over a pomodoro sauce, little Parmesan cheese on top. I didn't know meatballs could be that good. The way we have them, the way we serve them, and people
especially with one meat only. Like typically, I feel like you got to rely on some pork in there, but like
no pork, just beef, and great beef, and it tastes fantastic. And then aside from that, we have some ribeye New York brochettes, which is essentially like meat on a stick. You can pull them apart with some blistered tomatoes and onions, and they have a harissa spice on them, so it's really another type of Middle Eastern type of flair on a dish that, again, is a great technique and a different way of experiencing the beef. And two of those are probably my favorites on the menu, but I'll leave some for Scott to say.
Those were really fucking good, by the way. Yeah. We had those. They were like, how are they constructed from like a really nerdy person? Because like,
you would have
so easy.
This is actually interesting.
I found a cutting contraption from Italy. That's like another. I'll butcher the pronunciation of it. I'll let you get it right. A rosticini.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. That's what I said. But I found a cutter, and you're supposed to pull them apart and have the individual ones and grill the individual skewers. But the way when you cut through them, it forms this block of meat, and you stick the skewers in it. But when you cut them, I was looking at it, I was like, wouldn't it be really cool if you could serve something that looked like a square of meat with like 4 skewers in it, and then you just instinctively pull it apart, and you can see warm red interior on the skewer, which is what you're supposed to see. And I was like, oh my God, like that's what I've been looking for, because skewers are really difficult to execute temperature-wise.
Yeah, because
it's not an easy thing to do.
Because you get such small pieces, right? If you were doing each skewer individually, is that
I mean, it's seconds and they're overcooked.
Yeah.
So keeping them together not only helps us be able to better execute, but it's also really cool.
Yeah.
You pull it apart and it's kind of like a surprise.
No, it's a nice like little interactive touch, and they pull apart so cleanly. It's an extremely satisfying experience from the diner perspective. Like, actually, I'm getting chills just thinking about it. What about you, Scott? What are some of your?
You talked about the you said brochettes and meatballs, and I'll talk about the maltagliati. I can say that, right? Did I get that right?
Yeah, you actually had a little Roman twang when you said that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
You know.
I like that.
So the maltagliati, ribeye ragu, braised 12 hours. I don't know everything there is to know about pasta, but I was looking up different shapes of pasta because I wanted to have something that wasn't a traditional noodle, but really paired well with a ragu. And I was just looking at different shapes, and I saw something called maltagliati, which is from Emilia Romagna, hopefully I'm not incorrect in saying that, but the translation means little mistakes, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. Yeah. So I started looking into the pasta, and I had some pasta I was messing around with from our friends at Wovo, and I was like, I can't screw this up because it means a little mistake, and you can just tear them and cut them into misshapen pieces, and I served that with this ragu that I had been working on, and the blend of the two was like a clear winner.
Yeah, match made in heaven.
Yeah, and when I cooked it for the team, everybody, it was like, all right, we're done.
Yeah, that's the one thing I'm low-key upset about, is I think that was the one item you guys were out of when we were here. So I got to come back and try that.
You got to come back and get it again.
And by the way, maltagliati, yes, little mistakes.
That's what I said.
Well, you said it well, but it literally translates to poorly cut.
Yeah.
So that's why you're saying you can cut it any way you want, basically. And that's literally the way the pasta is supposed to be designed, right?
Yeah.
So foolproof, basically.
Exactly.
You can't mess up.
And just the blend of the pasta and the ragu and the way that it eats is really unique. Yeah. And I think that's what it's just a really special dish.
What's the without giving away the entire farm, but what is the secret to the ragu? Because I know a lot of people are like, oh, my secret is I add a little bit of milk, or it's the blend.
So our team knows the recipe, and when I tell them, they're like, that's it. So there's not a lot that goes into it, but I will say this, that ribeye people, if you were to say that you're going to braise a part of a ribeye for 12 hours, people would be like, what are you talking about?
Right.
But there's parts of the ribeye that specifically that lip part that have a lot of connective tissue in it.
Yeah, and
they're grilled, so there's a bit of smokiness that comes off of it. So people, when they have nobody's had grill like a ribeye ragu, because it's not something that's really done.
Yeah,
and you wouldn't braise the whole muscle, but there's parts of it that really cook up really well under.
That's cool.
Cooking.
Yeah. It feels to really sort of like marry the ethos, which I respect so much about you guys in Matu, is like this sort of like notion of really understanding every part of the cow and racking their brains on how to utilize it.
Well, it's also it's our responsibility as well. I mean, we don't get to call up a cut shop or a big meat distributor and say, deliver me a case of 10-ounce fillets. We have to look at the whole animal and figure out how we're going to balance the carcass. We have to look at what cuts that we're using, and we have to make sure that it makes sense for running a steak restaurant. You can't run a steak restaurant just selling tenderloin. You have to use all the rest of the animal.
Right. That makes sense. So look, we talked a lot about the menu, and frankly, I'm starving already.
One thing we've discussed a lot on this podcast in recent months, actually all year really, is the tough environment for restaurants out here. I mean, there's a number of factors, labor, costs, tariffs, whatever it may be, right? It's a tough environment for restaurants, and it seems like an insane time to open a restaurant.
Right.
Ryan, what made this the right time to move forward with Matu Kai?
Opening a restaurant is one of the tougher, if not toughest things to do out there. It is not easy to open a restaurant. And timing is never of essence when opening a restaurant. And looking into timing, back into Matu in Beverly Hills, we opened that restaurant in 2021 in July.
Wow.
In the middle of COVID.
Yeah.
Timing was not on our side.
Not
opening that restaurant. Not many restaurants open.
Outdoor dining there either, right?
There was no outdoor dining.
Wow.
And there was no outdoor dining. Yeah. So that was a feat to really be able to tackle, and it was a challenge. Definitely a challenge. But we did it. We powered through. We were, motivated to make that restaurant what it is, and I believe it's been very successful. And I think actually opening in that time even made us more successful because we were really, really determined to pull through or power through from that. Moving now to Brentwood, Matu Kai, there's never a great time to open a restaurant. We just had some of the worst fires near Brentwood. And so, timing has never been on our side, but opening a restaurant again takes a lot of time and effort to do it. And it took many, many years for us to open this restaurant, probably back to even 2022 when we were really discovering where to be, how to open a restaurant. And we found this location and we thought this was the perfect spot to open a restaurant. Mm-hmm. This location is on San Vicente Boulevard in the middle of the heart of Brentwood. And we think this is, the optimal place for our next footprint to opening a steak restaurant. And it's the next journey in our, in our ambition to reconnect people to this amazing, amazing beef. We had to do it. And we moved forward. And, through permitting, through construction, we didn't, if we picked a time of the calendar year, we would always pick the wrong time. We picked the time to open and we did it. And you just have to commit to it and make it happen. And it's like jumping on board a plane and taking off. You got to take off and you got to fly. Yeah. And that's what we did. And looking back at it, it's hard to reflect on it right now. We're still in the middle of climbing the altitude to peak height. But, it's been really exciting to see what we've done so far and looking forward to the success of this restaurant.
Yeah. Speaking of success and the neighborhood, Brentwood, you bring up, that's where we're now located.
Yep.
What's the reception been like from the neighborhood, Scott?
It's been great. Brentwood's a tough crowd, and you've got to bring your A game, and this is not a community where you can just we're not in the business of haphazardly doing anything, but even more so the pressure's on, and the reception has been great, and that's, I think, when it really relates to the food. There was a little bit of concern on our, we had been working on all these new dishes that Matu Kai has. And there were a lot of people that were living in Brentwood or the Palisades or Santa Monica, and they were going to Beverly Hills, and they had been going to Beverly Hills for some time. And, when they heard about, a Matu coming to their neighborhood, we were taking away some of those, great small plates that they loved in Beverly Hills. And we were a little bit worried that, you're going to be taking away their joy, when you're introducing new menu items. Yeah. But the reception to the new menu items has been great. And I think that's something that we're just incredibly proud about, which is that, the neighborhood loves us, and they're loving the new dishes.
Yeah.
And
it feels like a good fit. Just like, you say Brentwood's a tough crowd to please. I think you mean that from the perspective of like, they have had a lot of great options over the years, right?
Yeah, we're in good company on San Vicente.
Yeah,
There's some solid restaurants for
us. Yeah. And it's a very discerning crowd of people that live here. So you kind of can't phone it in.
and Angelinos are, know their food. Yeah. And I think it's true for any neighborhood that you go into. Yeah. That, there's, you turn left, you turn right, and there's good food in the city. Yeah. And you have to bring your A game.
100%. Look, I want to double click on the service aspect because Ryan, I know you're a former Hillstone guy, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And that's like every chef's favorite restaurant, especially when it comes to like how dialed in everything is. How have you brought that ethos to Matu, and how have you scaled that now that you have two restaurants?
Hillstone is a little bit back in my history, but it's something that I still connect with. I was with that company for 6 years, and I ventured to actually 11 different cities in those 6 years of
Wow.
Hillstone. And I think one thing that it's taught me that I carry with me to this day is that, running a restaurant can be challenging, but what it's really instilled in me is that high standards, high execution, and consistency are the most important things when running not just a good restaurant, but a great restaurant. There's a lot of good restaurants out there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good restaurants you'll go to, have a good meal, and then when you go back, it's just not the same. And that's, I think, the difference between a good restaurant and a great restaurant is one that is execution on every level, on a consistency level that is so unexpected.
Yeah.
And that's something I think people experience at Hillstone, that you can go to a Hillstone restaurant and, you can depend and rely on the meal you get every time. And that's something that we pride ourselves on doing here. When you go to Matu, people say, man, Matu nails it every time.
Yeah.
And that's something we pride ourselves on as well. So I think, one thing that is important to me that I've learned, and I think we take to heart, is that Matu and Matu Kai are restaurants that you can go to on any night of the week.
Yeah, it's true.
It's not just a special occasion place. If you want to go for a special occasion, that's great. Father's Day is coming up. Mother's Day just came out. It dropped. It dropped. But Mother's Day was here. I mean, we had a lot of guests who are coming in to celebrate special occasions, and it's great to do that. And it's great to celebrate your anniversary, your birthday. But also, if you're just coming with friends, on a Tuesday night, and after work to get a bite to eat, or you're bringing your family out on a Thursday night and coming to get the Matu dinner, it's a very approachable place to be at. And I think that's one connection that I've had before, that, if you're dining out, it should be a place that you can trust, rely on, and know what you're gonna get. And, I think that's a really amazing thing about a restaurant, where you don't need to plan to go to something in the future. You just go.
Yeah.
Because you trust it, that it's gonna be a great experience. So those are things that have been important to me. But I think, we take this seriously.
Yeah.
We're professionals in this restaurant, and we have high standards, really high expectations of ourselves, and we hold ourselves accountable to that. And we learn. We're always learning every single day. Every single mistake we make is a learning opportunity. How can we get better? How can we get stronger? And I think that's something that's connected in the front of house and the back of house that, we take pride in.
Yeah.
And every day is a learning opportunity.
Yeah, no, that's something I really admire about Matu is like, and frankly, all of the, restaurants that are associated with Matu is like, there's a real air of professionalism to the operation.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes people can conflate that with stuffiness, like, oh, it's professionalized, and people like associate like restaurants with this more like, wild pirate ship ethos, right? Where it's just like everybody's fucking in the kitchen or something like that. Right? Not quite. But like, I think Matu manages to like reach that level of professionalism where it seeps through, but it doesn't take away from the passion that you guys all have. Like it's this perfect marriage of those two things.
Right.
And I think that that's something that people really, really admire about you guys, myself included. I did want to ask you, Scott, because like one of the things that Father Saul and I talked about when we talked about our experience at Matu Kai is we think this is one of the most criminally underrated restaurants in the city. Like we're kind of mind blown that like this isn't on the LA Times 101. Like we've talked ad nauseum about stuff like that, right? But I know that sometimes what's important, or not what's important to us, but what we think about as diners is not necessarily what you guys are thinking about as restaurateurs. So I'm curious to hear from the horse's mouth, like what's your vision or like your hope for Matu and Matu Kai? Like what is your aspiration with this thing?
Yeah, and I'll it's a great question, and I'll probably answer the first part where you're kind of talking about some of those lists and being on some of those things, and what our aspirations are. Being on this list is, it's great. It's great getting acknowledgement and being acknowledged as one of the LA Times 101 or best steak restaurant or steakhouse, and all those lists are great. But as the operators, and our heads can just be so in the weeds sometimes. We're just focused on the people that are coming in. How do we give them the best experience possible?
Yeah.
Whatever lists we're on, whatever acknowledgement somebody wants to give us, that's great. But what's most important is that every single person that walks in the door is getting a great experience.
Yeah.
And, and I'm sure there's other restaurateurs and chefs that say things like that, but I mean, it's really true. I mean, the Michelin Guide, every one of these, rating agencies, being on those lists and being acknowledged, it's great. But what's most important is that the people that are coming in are having the best possible meal they can.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I like that ethos. It's, it feels like staying present. You know what I mean? It's not like getting lost in the big stuff that you frankly have no control over. It's really just staying like focused on the task at hand. And for you guys, it's optimizing that experience for everybody that walks in. So
yeah, I mean, there's nothing that we can, I'm not going to start cooking fine dining French food so I can be on, so I can get 1 or 2 Michelin stars. I mean, we're going to stay true to who we are.
Yeah.
And that's that the beef is the star of the plate. It's the center of the show. And, everything is supporting actors, including, my ego and it's all about the beef.
I love that. It's all about the beef. Well, hey, Ryan,
that's my memoir, by the way. That'll be coming out next year.
It's all about the beef. I would have preferred
Scott Linder.
Beefy,
something
like that. Yeah, something beefy.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Or that's actually the Matu calendar, which is coming out later this year.
Let's workshop it.
It's just pictures of Scott with beef.
Oh, God.
Anyways, you guys have been so generous with your time. I have a couple closing questions for you before we let you get back to the beef. Ryan, let's start with you. What are 3 LA restaurants you're loving right now?
Kazunori, Wovo, and Hi-Ho.
Company.
Oh, yeah, right. Been opening a restaurant the past month and planning on it, so dining out has not been the top of my to-dos. But one restaurant that I love is Bavel in downtown. I just think, when I think a great restaurant is when someone comes to town and they're visiting you, you think to yourself, let's try this place. Like, I want to show you this place. That's a great restaurant. So I love Bavel. I think just the experience is there. The food is always consistent. I'll say Bavel, but also I'll give one more, and that's probably Elefante maybe. And just this seeing outside and on Pacific Ocean is great. Great rooftop bar. And restaurant. Yeah. I'll give you 2, not 3.
That's good. Well, Elefante I appreciate too, especially with the ethos of where do you want to bring people. Yeah. I know that you're from the East Coast, and I assume when you have people visiting, they want that California balls to the wall experience. And I feel like
there is probably no better dining room in the city that represents cool Southern California.
Right.
Yeah. With the view. I
mean, come on.
Can't beat it.
It's about as good as it gets.
Yeah. Scott, how about you?
I'll go a little bit different. I'm going to go on bites of food that I'm loving.
I love that. Wow, way to take my question and make it better.
So by the way, don't think that I forgot about our burger date.
What? Wait, say that again?
Our burger date.
Don't think you forgot about our burger date.
Yeah. I didn't forget.
No, I know. You asked me if I had cheated on you by going there without you, and no.
I just wanted to make sure that you were.
I'm holding out for you. Oh. My jazz burger from Gianola Virginity is intact for you. Oh yeah, don't you worry, Scott.
Good. Yeah. Well, Gianola is great, but I have a love for Thai food. We have a Thai steak salad on our menu in Beverly Hills. We have the satay here, which we didn't talk about, but I just love Thai food. So given the opportunity, the rare opportunity that I do get to go out to eat, I really go out and eat Thai dishes like that. That's I'm always looking for the best new Thai dish. I went to Roast Duck by Pat Ord.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I hear it's fantastic.
Yeah. The duck was really, really, really good.
Yeah.
On the skewers, because I know you were talking about the brochettes, My favorite place to eat skewers in the city is Fang Mao.
Where's that?
It's on. God, I'm not from LA, so it's in Koreatown.
Okay.
I'll give you that.
Is it Thai?
No, it is Northern Chinese style skewers.
Wow.
Their mala lamb skewer is fantastic.
Wow.
It is so good.
This is a great tip. Usually when I ask this question, it's like very standard answers. Like, no offense, Ryan. I think we've had Bavel before.
We have, yeah.
But like, that's a first. Feng Mao's a first.
Yeah. And the last one, whenever somebody comes to LA, because I'm from the East Coast as well, and people, come and visit, the first thing that I do is I take them to Morisco, Jalisco.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I live near the La Cienega truck. So like, I don't even wait until if they're staying with me, I don't even let them drop off the bags. You go straight down La Cienega, we hit the truck, we get the tacos, and then we go back to and then I'm like, all right, but throw your bags down and just eat this first.
Yeah.
It's good hospitality.
And then we'll start your trip to LA.
The trip hasn't started until you have the shrimp tacos.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Poseidon. Don't sleep on the Poseidon.
Don't sleep on the Poseidon. Never sleep on the Poseidon, people.
I used to bring Ryan when we were spending most of our time in Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
4 years ago, I used to bring you a little.
You did?
Taco.
Yeah, that was a good
That's love right
surprise.
there.
Yeah, I had a bad habit of like eating there almost like 4 or 5 times a week.
There are worse habits you can have. My habit right now is that I eat exclusively Zanku's garlic sauce and I put it on everything, which is delicious, but really bad for...
Right.
I think it's mostly oil.
It's mostly oil.
Toom, right?
It's toom, yeah, exactly. It's mostly oil, and it's also a huge repellent to your significant other.
Can I give you a tip with you gotta take for Zanku chicken, because I go to the one here, right, like in West LA.
Yeah.
Take the pita, little tune, chicken, and then that pickled purple turnip that they give you.
Yeah.
Put one of those on, and then the pepper, that hot pepper.
Oh, the hot pepper I usually just nibble on the side.
No, you got to slide that in there. That's a chef secret for you.
Chef secret / insane person secret, because that thing's actually like sneaky spicy.
It is, but with the tune,
the
chicken and the bread, it
cuts it. It cuts it. Nice. Okay, I'll explore that option next time.
I mean, it's interesting that when you bring that question up, because when people visit LA, it's great for your podcast. Food is at the top of their mind.
100%.
I need to try this food. Or when you visit LA, we have to go to this restaurant. And I think food in this city is such a competitive industry. There's a lot of restaurants and a lot of places to eat out there, but also it's one of the best things about LA is that there's great food here, different types of cuisines, and I think it's when I'm inviting people as well, like, okay, for lunch we're going here, for dinner we're going here, then we're sleeping, and then for breakfast tomorrow we're going here, and that's kind of maps out your time here. And I think that's it's really cool to be in a city where that's so special to be a part of.
Yeah, dude, we did an entire episode on like how to plan the ideal food itinerary for people visiting from out of town, and it's just like it's so hard because of all the choices, right? It's like, how do you do it? Do you do it geographically? Do you do it based on types of food? Like it's a really kind of a head scratcher.
Yeah.
But anyways, guys, you've been so generous with your time. Matu Kai, we're putting it all in the show notes. Again, thank you for making time for us.
All right.
Thank you.
Stay beefy. Stay beefy.
Yeah, calendar coming soon.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the LA Food Podcast. Thanks to our guests, Karen Palmer, Ryan Gianola, and Scott Linder for making the time for us. If you like what you heard here today, dear listener, please go to wherever you listen to podcasts, leave us a rating, review, subscribe. Seriously, all that stuff really helps us out. We'll be back next week with another epic episode, but if you're looking for me in the meantime, you can find me on TikTok, Instagram, Threads, YouTube, and even our website at the LA Countdown. That's TheLaCountdown. You can also find us on Instagram at It's Acquired Taste Media. That's ITSACQUIREDTASTE. And you can also find us at acquiredtastemedia.com.